but sold for nearly $1 million. Imagine holding what looks like an ordinary 2002 penny in your hand, the kind you pass off to a vending machine without a second thought. Yet hidden in plain sight, one tiny detail has turned this forgotten coin into a life-changing treasure. Collectors were stunned when the first auction revealed its true worth. Dealers are scrambling, and everyday people are suddenly realizing that their pocket change might hold a fortune. It all started with a subtle anomaly. The 2002 Lincoln penny, minted without a mint mark, was originally considered just another ordinary penny. But one meticulous collector noticed something odd, a tiny shift in the design that most people overlook. It's so small, so unassuming. Yet this microscopic flaw is the reason this coin is now worth up to $1 million. At first, skeptics laughed. A penny worth $1 million? It seemed impossible. But then the auction results spoke for themselves. One coin sold, in pristine condition, and the bidding war lasted hours. People who had dismissed this penny as common were suddenly kicking themselves, realizing that what they had ignored could have changed their lives forever. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Dealers started combing through rolls of pennies, examining each 2002 coin as if it were a priceless gemstone. People who had never collected coins before were suddenly experts overnight, trying to identify that same subtle mark that could mean a fortune. One man even found a stack of these pennies tucked in a jar he had forgotten in his attic. He had casually saved them for spare change, never suspecting he was sitting on $1 million miracle. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. Look closely at the front of the penny, where Lincoln's profile meets the rim. There is a slight doubling of the letters and an irregularity in the date strike. In some cases, the lines are slightly off-center or faintly blurred, barely noticeable to the untrained eye. That's the difference between an ordinary penny and a coin that could make someone a millionaire. Collectors were shocked by how easy it is to miss. Many assume that because the coin has no mint mark, it is just another everyday issue. But it's precisely that lack of a mint mark combined with these subtle flaws that creates its rarity. This is a lesson in patience and observation. In the world of rare coins, the smallest detail can hold the greatest value. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on this coin. Stories abound of people visiting local banks, searching through rolls of pennies, hoping to find the one coin that could change their life. Some find nothing, while others stumble across a hidden gem tucked away among the ordinary. Every time a discovery is made, the excitement spreads like wildfire in the coin community. The anticipation is palpable. Could the next $1 million penny be sitting in your pocket right now? One man's pocket change became a $1 million miracle. He had been casually saving pennies from change received over the years, never thinking twice about them. On a quiet afternoon, he decided to examine his collection more closely. That's when he noticed the subtle anomalies. His heart raced as he realized what he was holding. One coin, overlooked for years, had transformed from a simple token of currency into a treasure beyond imagination. The story doesn't end there. Some coins have even shown slight variations in copper tone or weight, further increasing their value. Collectors who understood these nuances were able to capitalize, while the rest of the world remained unaware. The emotional roller coaster is part of the thrill, from skepticism to disbelief to sheer exhilaration. Here's how to identify this exact coin. Start by examining the date carefully. Look for the absence of a mint mark and compare the numerals closely to a standard 2002 penny. Observe Lincoln's profile and the lines of the lettering. Even a faint doubling or irregularity is a potential clue. Hold the coin up to the light to catch tiny shifts in the strike, and take your time. The most valuable coins reveal themselves to those who look patiently. Avoid common mistakes like mistaking normal wear for rarity. Precision and attention to detail are key. Collectors also recommend checking the edges. Slight inconsistencies in thickness or rim alignment can indicate the coin's special status. And while condition matters, even a less-than-perfect coin can carry incredible value if the unique anomalies are present. This is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the difference between a coin worth a few cents and a coin worth $1 million. Imagine the possibilities. That forgotten jar of pennies on your counter, the coins in the bottom of your purse, or the ones tucked into drawers for years, any one of them could hide a fortune. The excitement isn't just in the money. It's the thrill of discovery, the chance that something ordinary can suddenly become extraordinary. And don't forget, history plays a role too. The 2002 penny represents a specific moment in time, a snapshot of our culture and economy frozen in copper. Knowing that a coin so commonplace could rise to such immense value is a reminder that treasures often hide in plain sight. Imagine a simple, unassuming penny that could completely change a person's life. A coin that started as everyday pocket change but became a $1 million miracle. It sounds impossible, but the story of the 1990 D. Lincoln penny is as shocking as it is real. And what makes it even more incredible is that it could be sitting quietly in your own drawer right now. It all began in a minting room that no one remembers. The Philadelphia Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies, but in 1990, a rare mistake occurred during the Denver run. Tiny details went unnoticed by workers and collectors alike. This wasn't just a dent or a scratch. This was a minting anomaly that would remain hidden for decades. For years, collectors passed over these coins, completely unaware of the fortune they were holding in their hands. One man discovered his fortune purely by accident. He was counting change for his morning coffee when his eye caught a subtle irregularity on a 1990 D penny. He didn't even know it at the time, but that tiny anomaly, a misplaced dime mark, was the very thing that could make the coin worth over $1 million. Collectors were stunned when the story broke. Dealers rushed to get their hands on any 1990 D pennies, and suddenly, what was once ordinary change became a treasure hunt. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Auctions across the country exploded in activity. Ordinary people who had stored coins in jars or drawers found themselves facing unimaginable offers. Some coins sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, while the most exceptional specimens reached a full $1 million. One single detail, barely noticeable to the untrained eye, separated an ordinary penny from a millionaire-making artifact. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The 1990 D penny shows a subtle doubling on the date and mint mark. The letters seem slightly off, almost like a secret code left by the mint itself. If you've ever seen a coin that looks a bit different than its neighbors, don't dismiss it. That could be the difference between ordinary pennies and a life-changing treasure. Dealers are now scanning collections obsessively, searching for these anomalies, because even one overlooked coin could mean the difference between nothing and $1 million. Collectors who understand these mistakes were the first to act. They recognized the value, secured their coins, and watched as the world caught up to their discovery. One man's pocket change became a $1 million miracle, something he stumbled upon without any plan, any strategy, or even a hint of expectation. Stories like his spread like wildfire among the coin community, inspiring a new generation of collectors to examine every coin in their drawers with renewed scrutiny. And here's the part most people don't realize. The 1990 D penny isn't just rare because of age or scarcity. Its value comes entirely from an anomaly, something invisible to the casual eye. You could spend decades looking through coins and never spot one, but those who know what to look for can change their lives overnight. This coin is a reminder that history, mistakes, and chance often combine to create fortune in the unlikeliest places. At this point, many viewers are asking how to identify this coin. Here's exactly what you need to know. First, check the mint mark. The D for Denver is slightly doubled on rare specimens. Next, examine the date. You may notice subtle doubling or raised edges on specific numbers, most commonly the 9 and the 0. Finally, pay attention to the overall strike. Coins with uneven pressure or tiny die cracks often hide anomalies that can elevate their value dramatically. Avoid common counterfeits, and remember that the most valuable examples are certified by reputable grading services. The emotional impact of finding one of these pennies cannot be overstated. Imagine holding what was once a simple 1-cent coin and realizing it could instantly change your financial reality. For many collectors, it's not just about money. It's about the thrill, the story, and the idea that a once overlooked piece of history can suddenly become priceless. Dealers, collectors, and auction houses now fight over these pennies because each one represents a true anomaly. $1 million secret waiting to be discovered. What's truly remarkable is how many ordinary people have unknowingly touched these coins. They've been passed down through families, forgotten in jars, or lost under couch cushions. Some of the coins sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars before the world realized their true potential. And still, countless others remain hidden, waiting for someone perceptive enough to recognize their value. One subtle feature can multiply a coin's value exponentially. A tiny doubling, an unusual strike, or a slight imperfection can be the difference between a worthless penny and a $1 million marvel. Every collector knows that in the world of rare coins, the smallest detail often carries the heaviest weight, and the 1990 D. Lincoln penny is the perfect example of that principle. Always compare suspected coins to high-resolution images of verified specimens. Look for consistency in the doubling, the sharpness of the letters, and the overall metal quality. Avoid coins that appear tampered with or artificially enhanced. Professional grading is your safeguard, the proof that what you have in hand could indeed be worth millions. One mistake can cost thousands, but careful inspection can reveal life-altering fortune. Collectors who found these coins first are now sharing stories of life-changing moments. People have paid off mortgages, funded their dreams, and secured financial freedom all because of this tiny coin. It's a story that proves luck favors the observant and patient. Every overlooked jar of pennies could contain the very key to unimaginable wealth. And this coin reminds us that sometimes treasures hide in the most mundane places. Even now, as you watch this video, someone somewhere might be holding a 1990 D penny without realizing it. It could be buried in a drawer, mixed with spare change, or passed down through generations. The key is knowing what to look for, understanding its story, and acting decisively. Coins like these are rare not because they are invisible, but because people don't realize their true worth until it's too late. Millions of people have held Lincoln pennies, but only a handful will ever see a coin like this. It's not just money, it's history, mystery, and miracle combined. The thrill of discovery, the shock of realizing your ordinary coin could be worth a fortune, and the pure, unadulterated excitement of holding a piece of history. That's what makes the 1990 D. Lincoln penny extraordinary. But this was no ordinary penny. What he held in his hand was a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors around the world would stop everything just to get a glimpse of it. This coin almost ended up in the trash, but sold for nearly $1 million. The story begins in 1984. The United States Mint was churning out billions of pennies, almost automatically, almost invisibly. No one noticed when a handful of coins were struck without a mint mark. At the time, no one could have imagined these pennies would one day be worth millions. Collectors were shocked when the first few surfaced at auctions, quietly fetching six-figure sums. But the truly extraordinary discoveries came years later. One man, an everyday collector, was flipping through a jar of coins he had saved from pocket change. Nothing seemed special at first, just the usual mix of copper and copper-plated zinc. Then his eye caught something unusual. The date read 1984, but there was no mint mark. His heart skipped a beat. What happened next stunned the entire coin world. He brought the penny to a dealer who had seen thousands of coins in his lifetime. The dealer froze. He whispered, almost in disbelief, that this exact penny could be worth over $1 million. At that moment, a man's ordinary savings became a $1 million miracle. The news spread like wildfire. Collectors rushed to check their own collections. Dealers were scrambling to track down even a single example. And the frenzy was only beginning. The missing mint mark is just the start. The 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny was part of a very small batch accidentally struck without the usual D or P mark. These errors are incredibly rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. But rarity alone does not explain why people are willing to pay millions. There's something about the story, the thrill, the possibility that the next coin you hold could change your life forever. At auctions, these pennies have shattered expectations. Bidders have fought fiercely, sometimes paying more than $1.2 million for a single coin. And yet, despite all the headlines, most people still have no idea this penny exists. Imagine that for a moment. Something potentially life-changing sitting quietly in a drawer or jar in your home. One tiny detail is the key, and most people miss it. The copper shines differently in the light. The date is perfectly clear, and the absence of the mint mark is unmistakable once you know what to look for. But collectors warn, there are common mistakes. Some coins may appear similar at first glance, but have subtle signs that lower their value dramatically. It's crucial to check under magnification and compare with verified examples. Dealers advise looking for the crispness of the strike, the alignment of Lincoln's profile, and the spacing of the date. Missing these details could mean missing out on a fortune. Stories of ordinary people turning their loose change into life-changing wealth have become legendary. A retired teacher discovered one in a jar labeled spare change. A young father found another while cleaning out his old coin collection. Each time, the discovery has the same effect: shock, disbelief, and an adrenaline rush that only the possibility of $1 million can create. The emotional weight is palpable. This is not just a coin. It is a dream made tangible. Collectors have noted even more fascinating details. Some 1984 no-mint mark pennies show unique variations in the copper color, subtle dye shifts, and tiny anomalies in the engraving. These differences might seem insignificant to the untrained eye, but they can push the value of a penny even higher. Every subtle detail matters, and every discovery writes a new chapter in the story of this rare coin. Experts warn, though, that timing is everything. Coins like this do not remain hidden forever. When one appears at auction, it becomes the center of attention. Bidders come from across the country, and sometimes across the world, ready to pay top dollar. It's a reminder that sometimes fortune favors the patient and the observant. But even if you think your collection is ordinary, the potential for life-changing discovery is real. One small penny can carry unimaginable value. First, the date must read 1984. Second, there must be no mint mark. Third, the coin should show the sharpness of the original strike, with Lincoln's profile and the date clearly defined. Fourth, subtle differences like copper hue and alignment variations can confirm authenticity. And finally, always consult a reputable coin grading expert. In this world, expertise can make the difference between a $1,000 mistake and a $1 million revelation. Collectors who have found one describe the experience as surreal. One man said, holding his coin for the first time, that it felt like holding a secret from history, a hidden treasure that had been waiting for the right moment. Dealers often echo the sentiment. They know that every time a 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny comes into their hands, it carries the weight of possibility, the thrill of discovery, and the promise of millions. The market continues to evolve. Prices have fluctuated, but the allure remains. Each sale reaffirms the value of rarity and the excitement of discovery. Every coin tells a story, and every story adds to the legend. For collectors, it's not just about the money. It's about being part of history, holding a piece of time, and experiencing a thrill that few ever get to feel. One coin could change everything. One coin could turn an ordinary day into the most unforgettable moment of your life. One coin could be worth over $1 million. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's waiting for someone like you to recognize its true value. Imagine picking up a coin at the grocery store, examining it briefly, and later discovering it's worth over $1 million. That's exactly what happened with the 1994 D. Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and mysterious that collectors and dealers alike are scrambling to find even one. It all started in a quiet minting room in Denver in 1994. No one thought much about a single penny being struck incorrectly, but a tiny flaw, barely noticeable, would later ignite a frenzy in the coin world. Hidden deep in its design, a minting mistake created a coin that, decades later, would be valued at over $1 million. The astonishing part? For years, this penny remained hidden, slipping unnoticed through countless pockets, wallets, and cash registers. One man's pocket change became a $1 million miracle, and the world only found out when it suddenly appeared at auction. Collectors were shocked. Dealers couldn't believe what they were seeing. The 1994 D. Lincoln penny isn't flashy. It doesn't scream wealth at first glance. Yet that tiny mint mark, that barely visible anomaly, tells a story worth more than a house. Some describe it as the perfect storm of timing, rarity, and error. And the excitement didn't stop at the first discovery. Every auction that featured this penny sparked bidding wars, sometimes pushing its value close to $1 million. One coin that could have been overlooked on a countertop suddenly commanded the attention of an entire industry. But what happened next stunned the coin world even further. Rumors surfaced that several of these pennies had been accidentally melted down, destroyed before anyone realized their potential. Imagine losing a fortune simply because no one recognized its true value. That thought alone sent collectors into a frenzy, combing through drawers, old coin rolls, and forgotten piggy banks. Suddenly, what seemed like ordinary change became a hunt for hidden treasure. The key to spotting this extraordinary penny lies in details most people overlook. Start with the mint mark. The 1994 D is from the Denver Mint, but not every Denver penny from that year holds this secret. Look closely at the D. Some coins show doubling, a subtle shift in the lettering that the untrained eye would never notice. Inspect the surface for uneven strikes or faint lines that shouldn't be there. These tiny imperfections are what make this coin priceless. Dealers warn about counterfeits or overgraded coins, so precision is everything. Even seasoned collectors admit it can be tricky, but once you know the signs, the reward is undeniable. Collectors have shared stories of almost giving up. One man found a roll of pennies from the 1990s and nearly tossed them aside. A fleeting curiosity led him to examine the coins under a magnifying glass. And there it was, a 1994 D. Lincoln penny with the elusive doubled mint mark. The moment he realized what he held was electric. That single coin had the potential to change his life forever, turning decades of casual collecting into a fortune, and the market keeps evolving. Prices have fluctuated, but the intrigue never fades. Every time a 1994 D. Lincoln penny appears online, bidding explodes. Even coins with minor wear can fetch extraordinary sums if they display the right characteristics. It's the thrill of the hunt, the emotional high of knowing that something so small can be so immensely valuable. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on them. Collectors are double-checking every jar of pennies. And yet, most people still have no idea this secret exists. Here's what to look for if you want to spot a potential million-dollar find. The first clue is the mint mark itself. Not only its presence, but its shape, alignment, and doubling are critical. The second is the coin strike. Look for uneven impressions, faint lines, or off-center features. These small anomalies can indicate a rare minting error. Third, compare the coin's details with verified examples from trusted sources. Many collectors use reference guides or grading experts to confirm authenticity. Even a tiny scratch or discoloration can drastically affect value. So handle every potential find with care. But here's something most people don't realize. This coin isn't just about money. It's about history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. When you hold a 1994 D. Lincoln penny, you're holding a piece of the past, a story that began in a minting room decades ago and ended up potentially transforming someone's future. That emotional connection is part of why collectors are willing to pay a fortune. It's not just metal. It's a once-in-a-lifetime treasure that could be hiding in your drawer right now. The story doesn't end with discovery. Every penny that surfaces adds to the legend. Some are auctioned for record-breaking sums. Others quietly change hands between collectors who understand their rarity. And every time one is found, it reminds the world that fortunes can come from the most unexpected places. A coin overlooked for years suddenly becomes a centerpiece of someone's collection and, in some cases, the key to a millionaire lifestyle. Pay attention to the mint mark, the strike, and subtle anomalies. Compare against verified examples. Consider professional grading for authentication. Handle with care, because one tiny detail could mean the difference between ordinary change and a million-dollar treasure. And never underestimate the power of curiosity. It might just lead you to the discovery that changes your life forever. But it's sold for nearly $1 million. Imagine holding something in your hand that could completely change your life, tucked away in your pocket or your spare change jar for years without anyone noticing. That's exactly what happened with the 2014 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that has stunned collectors and dealers alike. It started as an ordinary penny, minted in 2014 in Denver, one of billions made for everyday transactions. But hidden in plain sight was a minting error so rare, so elusive, that it transformed a simple coin into a potential million-dollar treasure. Collectors were shocked when they first discovered the mistake, a tiny flaw most people would never even notice. But that flaw? It's worth over $1 million today. One man, a lifelong collector, found this coin at a local grocery store. He thought nothing of it at first. It was just another penny. But something about the strike caught his eye, something subtle but unmistakable. When he took it to a dealer, the reaction was instantaneous. Dealers were rushing to get their hands on this coin, some even offering six-figure sums just for a closer look. This wasn't just any penny. This was a coin that could make someone a millionaire overnight. The story gets stranger. This particular 2014 D penny contains a minting anomaly so rare that the US Mint itself almost doesn't recognize it. Only a handful are known to exist. Most people pass it by every day, unaware that their pocket change could be worth more than a house, more than a car, more than their retirement fund. It's that hidden, that secret. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. The coin went to auction, expected to fetch a few $1,000s at best. Instead, bidding wars erupted, collectors from across the country vying to own it. The final hammer price? Over $1 million. One man's pocket change had become a $1 million miracle. And the best part is, this story isn't unique. More of these pennies could be hiding in your drawer, waiting to be discovered. Here's why this tiny detail matters so much. The 2014 D. Lincoln penny's value isn't just about the year or the mint mark. It's about the way the coin was struck. Look closely at the letters, the edges, the tiniest shifts in the copper. Even the slightest anomaly in the strike can turn an ordinary penny into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. Many collectors overlook these flaws because they appear insignificant, but they are what separate a regular coin from a $1 million treasure. Collectors who understand this spend years learning the subtle signs, memorizing the look of the rare minting error, studying auction records, and following every new discovery like a detective tracking a priceless artifact. Dealers are constantly hunting, scanning piles of change, hoping to stumble upon this miracle. But luck isn't everything. Knowledge is what turns chance into fortune. Imagine holding that coin, running your fingers over the copper surface, seeing the anomaly that makes it worth over $1 million. You would feel a rush, a thrill unlike anything else. This is the magic of coin collecting. The reason collectors can't stop searching through jars, drawers, and pocket change. It's the promise that at any moment, an ordinary day could turn into a life-changing discovery. And yet, most people completely miss it. They see pennies as small, worthless. But for the ones who know, the ones who look closely, every penny could hide a secret. Every mint mark, every tiny strike error, every subtle imperfection is a clue. This coin teaches us to see value where others see nothing. It teaches patience, observation, and the incredible thrill of discovery. First, look for the D mint mark. Then, study the rim carefully. Check the letters, especially in Lincoln's name. Compare it to a standard 2014 penny. The difference is subtle but unmistakable. Look for doubled letters, slight shifts in the strike, and any uneven copper flow across the surface. These tiny details are what make a coin worth millions. Most people skip over these indicators entirely, which is why so many potential million-dollar coins go unnoticed. One famous collector once said he almost threw away his coin collection during a spring cleaning. He had no idea that one of the 2014 D pennies tucked in his box was about to sell for $1 million. That's the power of this coin. It's not just about money. It's about possibility. It's about seeing the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. And it's not just a story for other people. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. It started as an ordinary day, just another coin in someone's pocket. A single penny, unnoticed, ignored. But what happened next would shock the coin world and change one person's life forever. This is the story of a 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin worth up to $1.5 million. Imagine holding a coin that could transform your life. Collectors were stunned when this penny surfaced. Most people tossed it aside, seeing only a tiny copper disc. But for the lucky few who understood what to look for, this coin became a $1 million miracle. The story begins in a small town where a retiree, just like anyone else, was sorting through decades of pocket change. He wasn't looking for anything extraordinary. He wasn't searching for fame or fortune. Yet as he ran his fingers over this unassuming penny, something caught his eye. Something subtle, something almost imperceptible. Most people would have missed it. But collectors trained to see the unseen, to find the rare in the ordinary, immediately recognized its significance. This penny had no mint mark, and that tiny absence was the key that unlocked a fortune. You see, In 1994, nearly every Lincoln penny had a mint mark, indicating where it was produced. But a handful slipped through the cracks, pennies with no mint mark at all. Only a few exist today. Dealers are desperate to find them. Auction houses scramble when one appears. And when this particular penny hit the market, jaws dropped. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. A collector paid a modest sum, thinking he had a rare but ordinary penny. He didn't know that within weeks, the coin's value skyrocketed to over $1 million. One man's casual discovery turned into a life-altering fortune. This isn't just about money. It's about history hiding in plain sight. Every Lincoln penny tells a story, the design, the minting, the small variations that most people overlook. But the 1994 no-mint mark penny carries a secret. That secret is why collectors are paying millions, why dealers can't sleep at night, and why you should examine every coin you touch. But that's when the penny surprises again. Look closely at the rim, at the date, at the details in Lincoln's profile. Tiny anomalies reveal the hidden value. This coin is a masterclass in subtlety. And most people, even seasoned collectors, miss it. The auctions tell unbelievable stories. One penny, sold quietly at a local collector's event, went unnoticed until an expert spotted it. Within days, it became headline news. Newspapers called it miraculous. Collectors were shocked. And that was just the beginning. The same coin later crossed the auction block again, this time for nearly $1 million. Think about that for a moment. A single penny, a coin you've held in your hand, possibly even dropped in your couch cushions, is worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. $1 million coin hidden among your ordinary change. One small, seemingly insignificant object, transformed into a treasure of unimaginable value. But the magic of this penny isn't just in its rarity. It's in its story, in the moment of discovery, in the thrill of knowing you could be the next lucky person. Dealers are rushing to track down every example. Every coin, every roll of pennies is scrutinized. And every day, new stories emerge. Collectors who find one in a jar, a drawer, even a cash registered. Here's the part that truly blows people away. You don't need to travel the world or inherit a fortune. You just need to know what to look for. Focus on 1994 pennies. Look for no mint mark. Examine the edges, the date, the lines on Lincoln's profile. Learn the subtleties. One tiny detail, overlooked by millions, holds the key to unimaginable wealth. But even seasoned collectors get tricked. Common mistakes abound. Some pennies look right, but carry faint mint marks. Others are worn, hiding the telltale signs of rarity. Precision is everything. This is why experts spend years studying coins, why some pay tens of thousands for authentication, and why the payoff can be astronomical, $1 million or more. Imagine the emotions of discovering such a penny. Shock, disbelief, exhilaration. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle. Another's ordinary drawer revealed a hidden fortune. And every day, someone like you could experience the same heart-pounding excitement. This penny also carries lessons in patience and persistence. It's not just about luck. It's about knowing history, understanding minting patterns, recognizing anomalies that others dismiss. And in those moments, when the ordinary becomes extraordinary, the coin transforms into more than currency. It becomes legacy, becomes legend. Collectors who missed earlier opportunities learned the hard way. They underestimated the value of a small detail, a subtle minting error, a date without a mark. When the next 1994 no mint mark penny appears, it will spark the same frenzy. Dealers will scramble, auctions will surge, and fortunes will be made. The excitement, the suspense, the emotional roller coaster. It's all part of what makes this coin legendary. And now, the secret is in your hands. You can examine every penny you encounter with a newfound eye, searching for the one that could change everything. 1994. Then check for the mint mark, or the absence of one. Study Lincoln's profile for sharpness and clarity. Look at the edges, the texture, the tiniest anomalies. Compare to verified examples. Avoid common pitfalls, faint mint marks, worn coins, counterfeit reproductions. Patience and attention to detail separate the lucky from the disappointed. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, unnoticed, unappreciated, waiting for the person who knows how to see its true worth. Over $1 million is not just a number. It's a story, A secret, a once-in-a-lifetime treasure waiting to be discovered. One tiny penny could hold unimaginable value. One small discovery could change your life forever. The 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is more than a coin. It's the ultimate symbol of hidden potential, of luck meeting knowledge, and of fortunes waiting to be claimed. Check your change. Examine every penny, and imagine the thrill when you finally spot it. Because when you do, you'll know the truth. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.